So step number one, what you're gonna do is you're gonna grab yourself a piece of paper because we're gonna break this down into 4 different sections. So we're gonna put a big cross right here in the middle, separating into 4 separate quadrants. There's really only 4 individual steps when it comes to selling a home. First quadrant, what you're gonna do is you're gonna write number 1 and you're gonna write pricing. Now your pricing is comprised of a number of different things. I have a little acronym for it. It's PCLL. Price, condition, location, and layout. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and mark some bullet points right here. Price, condition, location, and layout. All right, so now we have those. You have to get the price right before you can do anything else. You have to make sure the condition of the home matches the price. You have to make sure the layout of the home and the actual functionality and the location all align up. This is kind of where real estate agents they'll connect with you and they figure these things out. So what you're going to do, you're going to look for other homes that are like yours or very close that have sold in the past 3, 6, maybe even 9 months or 12 months if you don't have any comparables to go off of. Once you get that, you're going to want to make sure they're at least 150 to 200 square feet close to your heated square footage, plus or minus. So meaning that a home is, 1,700 square foot bigger than yours, or total, or 1,300 a little bit smaller. That's a stretch, but you want to get it as close as possible, and you don't want to be comparing it to properties that are 2,000. And then 1,000, because that's totally separate locations that are not really comparable to yours. So once we have that, you're going to get the condition of your home rated on a scale of 1 through 10. Where does your home sit? On a scale of 10 being it's completely immaculate, it's move-in ready, it was literally just built, like that's perfect. On a scale of 1, it needs to just be torn down, like it's just completely rough. Most homes will fall in a 7 or 8 because there's some things that need to be done, some things that don't need to be done, but they're in good condition. And they're actually sellable. They're in really good shape. That's the average home that when they put it on the market, you want to make sure it's at least in that condition. So once you get that, you're going to check into your location. Once you figure out your location, you want to see if homes in your neighborhood are selling, if they're selling quickly, if people are actually even putting homes on the market, or if everybody's just staying in their home and nobody is selling at all. That's going to be a huge indicator, because if a lot of people are selling and signs are going up and they're going down, that means people are actively buying them very quickly. So that means that there's a huge interest in your area. If they're popping a sign in the yard and it's sitting on the market forever, it's probably not a lot of people looking in there. So that's going to be an adjustment you're going to have to make on your price, and you're going to have to list it below before. There's probably just a ton of inventory on your area. And then layout. Layout is one of the things that a lot of people don't think about. So layout goes into when you walk into a home, how does it feel? Does it make sense? Does it flow? Does it, look right into a wall that just cuts everything off? Or do you walk into like a nice open space that really flows well, that feels good? Now, that type of home, it might be on paper worth less, but it feels better and people are willing to pay more for it, because when it comes to buying and selling, people buy off of emotion. So that's why you want to make sure that your home is up to par and in really good shape and flows really well. If there's a wall or something that's affecting the flow of your property, you can't really do a lot about it unless you want to move some walls around. But if you can't, then you need to take that into consideration when it comes to your pricing, because even though your square footage and your location might be all spot on, if it doesn't flow well, it doesn't make sense, no one's going to want to buy it. They're going to go to something else because it just doesn't feel right. So those are all the things when it comes down to pricing. You're going to combine all those factors based upon your condition, the location, the price, the layout, all of those things. And you're going to come to a figure that's basically going to tell you that your home is worth somewhere in a range of, let's just say, 150 to 160. Again, these are theoretical numbers based upon our theoretical subject property. So once you pick that, you're going to decide. And what's going to decide on how high you price your property is the condition and the layout of it. So if your home flows really well and it looks good, the colors are good, when you walk in, everything looks nice, it looks better than everybody else's in your neighborhood, I'd recommend you to price it a little bit higher on that actual that price range, because your price range is really going to be what your area is going to be. Let's say, for instance, you have 400 or 500 homes in your area, and there's a price range from the worst homes are at 150 and the best homes are at 160 or 170, right? You feel that yours is in the best shape, the best condition, the best functionality, it's better than everyone else's, and you know that homes are actually selling for that price range. So let's go ahead and price it at the high point, because your home is worth more. People are going to pay more for it, and it's going to actually have that value. Now, say for instance, if you're unfortunate and you bought a property because you either didn't understand all these things when you were going about buying them, and it doesn't really function well. The colors look bad. You don't have the money to redo it. The finishes aren't as good as they need to be. You need to price it a little bit closer to the lower end of that spectrum, only because if you try and compete with the nice ones, you're going to get knocked out of the water, and your home's going to sit on the market. It's going to rack up days on the market. You're never going to get your property sold. So don't do that to yourself. You need to price it where it's actually going to have the best opportunity to sell. People will buy it if it's priced accordingly and priced correctly. So go ahead and put it on the lower end of the spectrum. Your home is going to sell just as fast as the other ones, simply because it might not be as nice, but it's within the same price range, but people feel it's worth the amount that you're asking for it, so they'll pay you for it.